Now, many of the best players in women's football have had their careers disrupted by ACL injuries. Despite that, there's not enough understanding of just why that is happening and how to stop it. Well, Project ACL aims to change that. As you can see, our senior reporter Geraint Hughes joins us now to tell us more. And Geraint, we do hear about these ACL injuries when a big name gets injured, the likes of Beth Mead, Sam Kerr, Leah Williamson. Just tell us a little bit more about the full scale of the problem that we're dealing with.
We have been here before and we have talked a lot on Sky Sports News about this over the last 18 months, 2 years. But there is a problem, and let's first of all start with, there's not enough research and data, and this project could well be a start in helping this, along with other projects as well. I think let's just remind some of our viewers what the problem is when it comes to ACL injuries for female athletes, female footballers. Look at that, 2 to 6 times more likely in women. On the research and the programme we did last this year, Joe, we found more likely 6 times more likely that the female will have an ACL injury than a man. 2/3 of them occur without physical contact. Strange injury. Why? We don't know. Maybe this research data over the next 3 years will help. Look at that, nearly 200 elite women's players injured in the last 18 months. 2023 World Cup. If they'd all come from the same country, a whole squad would have been missing with an ACL injury. So it's not just 1 or 2 little injuries here. It is lots and lots of big injuries. You mentioned there the big names, but it's much, much worse than that. And unless we have data, we have research, which doctors, medics, physios, people involved in the game, academics want, we're not going to get on top of this problem. This is what a project like this can be part, not the solution, part of the solution.
And Geraint, we've seen players, coaches, even government select committees criticise not just the amount but the quality of research, particularly when you compare it to the men's game. So how will this study differ from what we already have?
You're making me laugh because I've sat in those select committees and there's been more than one, and boy, they are hard listening at times. You mentioned it there, it's the quality of the data and the research, but also the amount. If you look at boys and men's research when it comes to just injuries generally in football, there's decades of it. For young girls, for young women, there isn't a huge amount. Now, as I mentioned this is a collaboration. It's FIFPRO, so it's the World Player Union, the PFA, Nike are involved as well, Leeds Beckett University. They're the academics, and the people involved in this, they know their stuff. Yes, they're clever people, they're academics, far bigger brains than me. However, they've been involved in the games. Some of the doctors are players. They're involved on the medical side, the physio side. They know the problems. They know what they want to try and look for as well. So I've been having a chat with somebody who's very much involved in this on the academic side. She'll be very much part of this 3-year study now, Dr. Stacey Emmons. I think it's best she explains what this collaboration is all about.
Our involvement is driven by our want to try and improve research, not just in women's football, but with female athletes at Leeds Beckett. And specific to this project in the context of the women's game, it's something that we have been involved in research projects looking at the demands of the game, injury rates, athletic development of players. This, therefore, is the next step forward. And alongside that, there's been a call to action from the players around this area about wanting more research across the game. And for us, there's some good work starting to be undertaken in this space by a range of different organisations, but we feel probably one element that is missing from that is understanding some of the contextual factors to the game and environmental factors, and that's really what we want to bring to life with the player voice central to that.
And Geraint, we've got the WSL, players' unions both in England and worldwide, academics and Nike involved in this study. How important is it that we're looking at this problem from lots of different angles?
This is key to where this could really help. This is not a silver bullet. This is not a solution. It is part of the solution, and it's a start. Dr. Emmons was telling me a little bit earlier today, it's a start. 3 years worth of data. If you'd probably asked somebody, I'd love to have decades of it, or at least 10 years, but 3 years will be a start. And it's not a wide brush. Let's just say we're not, the collaboration is not necessarily looking at, for example, things to do with, we've talked a lot about the menstrual cycle and hormonal fluctuations. It's actually looking at environmental factors, whether strength and conditioning is available on an equal basis for girls and boys, men and women, etc., etc. That's why the player's voice is so crucial here, and they want to collaborate with. The WSL are going to be key in this, and all the findings in 3 years' time shared, not just within the UK, but outside that, hence the involvement of FIFPRO as well. So this is a very, very important piece of work as well. The importance of the players, the lived experience, those environmental factors, that's what they want to learn and log over the next three years. No better than to hear from two England Lioness legends, Lucy Bronze and Ellen White. Lucy Bronze, very, very interesting. She is very, very clever herself, and she has already written an academic paper about this subject as well. So let's hear now from Lucy Bronze and Ellen White on why it is key of this engagement with players.
I think we need to do this really finely tuned research so that we can go, these are the key factors, these are the focus points, stop, just so that I think the players especially, I think a lot of the players need to be more clear on the process of why you do your ACL.
So to hear from the players is so important because they're living it day in, day out, and they need to be able to perform to the highest level possible, and they need the support, the environment, the culture. They need those programs to go out before training, after training, when they're not at training, to help them have longevity as well in the game.
Okay, we clearly aren't expecting ACL injuries to stop. What does success look like from this project 3 years from now, say?
Really good, solid data. I know it sounds boring, but it's what's needed. Data research, collaboration, yes, great, but also the players, coaches, physios, everyone involved in those WSL clubs. This is just early days. This is just the launch. Get them all involved over the summer, over the next 3 years as well, and just get that data on board. And in 3 years' time, we'll have something, research, we didn't have right now.
Yeah, Geraint, really, really interesting. Thank you so much for now.